Hey, did you grab your ticket to the Ordinary Summit yet? It starts October 14th. Go to theordinarybusiness.com to grab yours. This is the Ordinary Business Podcast for business owners who want honest conversations, a lean business, and an extraordinary life on their own terms. Erin, what is your favorite thing about Portugal?
I think what I love most, specifically about Lisbon, where we're going, is all of the parks, and that every park has like a little cafe in it. So you can swing by and get a coffee or a drink, depending on the time of day, and just hang out on these nice little tables in these parks.
Oh my gosh, this sounds so fun. Okay, now I'm like, okay, I want a little cafe in my parks. So we are talking about you and your family moving to Portugal in a few months and how you're juggling that with business. So before we dive in, tell us what you do, what your business is, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. My business is Luname Strategy. I support web designers with their operations. So I've done that for several years in a retainer standpoint, and now we're making some adjustments to that, which I think we're going to get into. So I'll leave it at that.
Nice. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. You're moving to Portugal. How did that come about? What brought this up? How did you decide Portugal?
Yeah, we always loved traveling. We always talked about living internationally, but just hadn't ever gotten there. And so last fall, about this time, maybe October, with everything going on in the political scene about that time, and we were just really disappointed with what things look like when we looked around, and we were like, maybe we should just move abroad, kind of joking. And then it turned into, oh wait, maybe we should move abroad. We've talked about it, why not do it? So that was kind of the caveat to start taking the initial steps to look and see what it would take, put in a timeline, decide where, because Portugal, we hadn't even decided at that point. So that's really why.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know a lot of people feel that way, including myself.
Yep.
Now, for more context, does your husband work remote? Does he own his own business? Do you have kids?
I don't have kids. We have a large dog. And then my husband is a contractor currently. So that is not remote work. So his after he finishes with all the house projects that I've got him on right now, he's going to start looking for remote work. Obviously, mine can come with me.
Yeah.
And then we'll move. We're going to have some figure out the flight situation with the dog, because she is our bougie dog and will not be going in the cargo.
Yeah. I have heard other people I don't know, are there flights just for dogs?
There are.
Yeah. So
there's a couple airlines that do that.
Yeah, that's fun. So what is running through your mind the last year, basically, of juggling the business and a move? Are you restructuring services as well during this or after the move?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. It's been a lot of hurry up and wait feeling up until recently. I didn't really tell a ton of people as we were just starting to get into it. And then within the last few months, picking up the house projects to get ready to sell the house. And then the visa process is coming up quickly. We just got an appointment, so it really determines our timeline. Because I've done retainer for so many years, I'm comfortable with that. Honestly, I've gotten pretty lazy at selling because I've got a nice stack of clients. But at one point, I wanted to expand, just continue to grow in retainer, hire team members to help me support that. Really, as I thought about what it would look like living in a very different time zone and what I wanted my life to look like over there, I realized that wasn't the area where I wanted to grow my business. So this summer, I've been doing a lot of thinking and in the progress right now of rolling out project-based offers and kind of re-looking at a membership I've had but haven't really worked on selling. So both of those things are where I'm going to put my energy as far as offers go, so I can continue to grow without adding retainer clients.
Yeah. I love that you're kind of rethinking and being intentional about what do I want my life to look like
Mhm.
when I move there. So, do you know, I mean, you may not know because it may change when you get there, but
Right.
do you know or do you want your work week to look the same or the different after the move? And maybe start with like, what does your work week look like now and what are you hoping it looks like when you move?
Yeah. So right now I do work Monday through Friday. I work like 20, 25 hours a week. So it's not a ton. Um, but the big change I want to make when I move is to be a little bit more intentional about being flexible when I do
Mm,
work. And often, I don't have kids. So I can't really say, like, I don't use my time as efficiently as I could sometimes.
mm,
And I think I want to be a little bit more intentional in that of, being able to sit down and be like, this is the time I have to do this one task because I know I can get it done in that time if I
yeah.
don't decide to start puttering over there and looking here. Um, so that's really my intention of being able to get up in the morning, do a little bit for my own business, take a break, go sightsee, go do things, go sit in those parks, and then come back in the afternoon to be able to do client calls, client work before wrapping up. I mean, the big change is the time zone. Trying to work East Coast hours while over there, it'll be very free mornings and then starting work basically after lunch and then working till like 8 p.m. over there and then getting dinner, which works
Yeah.
out with their culture. They late eaters.
Oh.
But right now I go to bed at like 9 p.m. So that'll be a big adjustment for me.
Yeah, I have some friends that live overseas and some of them have slower mornings, but some of them also like to be like, okay, morning, I'm getting a bunch of admin stuff because it's
Mhm.
uninterrupted and I don't have calls and
Right.
that kind of thing. I also like I co-work with someone who lives in Germany, so I get up at 6 a.m. or well, I'm up at 5 and we co-work at 6 a.m. my time, like on Zoom. And then, I mean, so that's like lunch for her.
Right.
So she's like, okay, well now we work for like an hour or two. And then she's like, okay, I got to go get the kids from school.
Hmm.
And it's so weird because I'm like, I haven't even eaten breakfast yet.
Right. Yeah.
um,
Yeah. Yeah.
so
I think the big thing is just being flexible and being able to spread work out a little bit more than I try to right now, and enjoy the in betweens as much as possible.
So I was going to ask when you were talking about flexibility, was it more like just flexibility in the day-to-day scheduling, or are you wanting flexibility with like taking Fridays off or take a whole week off or is it some of both?
All of the above. Flexibility through the day. We're really excited to do a lot of travel when we're over there, a lot of European travel that, right now we're like taking weeks off to go to one or two cities and
Yeah.
being able to do a weekend trip from Lisbon to
Hmm.
somewhere will be a lot easier. So having those long weekends available.
I am curious about, like, you don't have to deep dive into this, but I'm curious, is it intimidating to figure out the business stuff in Lisbon? Or is it like you're still technically your
I,
business is based out of like the US?
I am going to have to figure out taxes
Okay.
because I'm going to pay taxes there and
Yeah.
here and then get a write off on one side. I don't know if any accountant is listening to this. I will be hiring. Yeah, yeah. But I do know we are working with a relocation specialist.
Oh, nice.
And she said with the visa that we're going over on, I won't have to figure out taxes until like 4 months in-ish. So that gives me a window once we get there to like
Yeah.
continue to work and then make sure that I'm on the up and up with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Well, and to be clear, I wasn't like suggesting that Erin like not pay
Oh,
taxes or anything. Like, not that
right.
you said that, but
Yeah.
I was like, I realized maybe my question sounded like, oh, are you just gonna like
Under the
not
table.
pay? Yeah. Like I wasn't thinking
No,
through
yeah.
that mindset, but now I'm like, oh, that kind of sounded like I was
No,
suggesting.
I will still be technically a US based company.
Okay.
Which
Yeah.
I think was your question.
Yeah. Basically, yeah. Do you and your husband have any sort of timeline in terms of, oh, we're thinking we'll stay there for a few years, 10 years, forever, like as long as we want?
So as of right now, there's a 5-year track to citizenship in Portugal. And as long as we don't move over there and decide we hate this, that would be kind of our plan to stay
Nice.
and get citizenship and get that passport, that EU passport.
Nice, nice. Okay, so going back to the business stuff, when you are kind of planning your stuff, you're setting goals, what are you what or how are you keeping in mind like Portugal, Erin, and Portugal business versus like right now and everything you're doing right now?
Yeah. Yeah. It's a little hard for me because I love to plan. I love to have
Same.
that. And so a lot of it is reminding myself that I'm gonna have to like have space for myself and plan for that. So my Q1 goal will probably be finding comfort, like, and nothing else, like maintaining my current clients and like finding a routine that works for me because, there will be no launches. There will be, and that might be half of next year, like figuring that out and being okay with that. Cause I like setting goals. I like doing that. And it's like, sometimes it's okay to just stay where you are for a little while and get used to, big changes on the personal side.
Yeah.
I really need to, I've got a list of tasks that I could pass on to my team member that I just haven't. And those are on my list to like, okay, I need to sit down and actually document what I do so I can give those to her and give myself a little bit more space on those things that aren't a big deal to me right now, but they do take up time that I probably need once we get over there to figure out how to set up utilities and like navigate the bank situation, all those little things that aren't hard here, but they'll be a brand new experience in a brand new language. Do it when I get there.
As a planner, I'm like, all the checklists, please. All the checklists. I was going to ask about with the going back to kind of shifting your services because you're fully retainer right now, but you're adding in project. And in my mind, as someone who doesn't really do retainer work, I feel like doing project-based would almost be less flexibility. But I'm also curious with your services, what your retainers look like not a deep dive, but how the project-based is going to be more flexible for you and your team and your clients.
Yeah. Yeah. So retainers, I am like very much into their business. So we talk on a daily basis. I've got weekly calls, monthly strategy calls, like I'm in all the time. So adding that on my schedule would just add more work every single day versus projects. I can plan for that. I can do one project a month because it's not my primary income. It's like additional. So then I know like, I'm going to do this 1 week sprint, which is what my primary project is right now. So I have 1 week during the month that I know I'm not going to go travel. And then that gives me the other 3 to do what I want.
Well, that makes more sense because obviously everybody has different businesses and different retainers. And so you saying like, I talk to them every day, every week, every month. I'm like, yeah. Because when I have done retainers as a designer, I don't do them anymore. I was not talking to them every day. It was like once a quarter and they weren't calls. It was just like a Slack message. So I think having that peek into your business and like, okay, we're shifting things.
Yeah.
So I'm curious about the conversations or if you've had those conversations. I'm assuming you've already started having conversations. You're like, surprise clients. How did you bring up that you're moving to Portugal? Were you nervous? Are you like, it sounds like you're keeping all your current clients. Is that correct? Or are you like downsizing?
Yeah, as long as they have me.
Yes. So tell us about like how you handle that with the clients.
Yeah. So I have really cool clients. I think the newest client has been with me for 2.5 years. So, these are long-term relationships, but it's still that moment of panic inside where you're like, I'm going to tell them and they're all going to leave. But no, everybody's been extremely supportive. I think in June, all of my monthly strategy calls I had with my client is when I kind of had that conversation with each of them of, got some big life changes happening, selling our house, selling all our stuff. We're moving to Portugal. Here's what it's going to look like. And from their side, the big adjustment is like, I won't be available later in the afternoons, which I typically am right now. So like, that's the big adjustment. Otherwise, it'll kind of be business as usual. My team member's here on the East Coast, so she'll be able to kind of pick up any slack from a time zone perspective.
Yeah.
But everybody's been really really wonderful. Honestly, more of, okay, you got to tell us all the details, and I'm very
Yes.
jealous.
You're like, can I move with you?
Exactly. I was like, come visit.
You're
Team
gonna start,
retreat.
what you don't realize is you're going to start a second business where you just help business owners move to Portugal.
Right. Lovely. I'll host retreats over there.
Yeah.
Next summit, just come on over.
Exactly. I've had another conversation on the podcast about how it's really, really nice when our clients, like, we attract these clients that understand, and whether it's understanding about moving to Portugal, understanding about different, like, I'm working different hours now, understanding about, like, my kid is sick. And I was talking to another designer, and we talked about, like, there's no design emergencies. Like, if the kid is sick, like, we'll do, yeah, obviously I know there's launches, and, like, if your site goes down, like, there's little things, but it's not like we're medical professionals and those kinds of things. So I just love that you also seem to have those type of clients who are very, like, understanding and that kind of thing. And it doesn't sound like, even though you have slightly different availability, I was kind of expecting you to say, like, I'm no longer doing, like, daily check-ins, and we'll only have a monthly call instead of a weekly call or something. But are you changing any of that, or is, like,
not of right now? You know, subject to change. But
you're like, don't hold me to this,
right?
Yeah.
No, and I mean, I think having gone from corporate to my own and being a project manager over there, everything was an emergency. We need you right now. You have to do this thing. And so when I built my business, that was like my contract has so many lines in there about, non-emergencies. I will not be available. I probably respond way sooner than my contract actually says that I have to. But that was really important to me and my clients as well. Like, we have conversations often when they pick up a client that feels a little bit more, this is an emergency. I'm like, there are no emergencies in web design. Like,
no.
Nobody's going to die if they have to wait 3 hours for a response.
Yeah, no, not happening. We talked a little bit about this, but I'm curious if there's any other things that you are doing to build wiggle room into your business, any other boundaries or systems that you are setting up or going to set up, maybe?
I'll probably do some reflection on all of my systems and processes myself, make myself my own client, and tidy some things up. You know how it is. You're your own worst client. So that's on my list to make sure that those little things that you just put off is not a big deal. Like, I'm going to go ahead and set up the Zap for myself to just take care of it, even if it's 5 minutes every week. Like, that's 5 less minutes that I have to do something.
As we wrap up, if there's anything that you would tell, like, another business owner to think about inside their business, with their business, that, like, hey, if you're thinking about moving overseas or even to another time zone, is there anything that you're like, make sure in your business that this is set up or this is happening even at, like, now before you even decide?
Yeah. Simplification. I mean, I would say that that's the biggest thing, especially with established business owners, is that we've overcomplicated a lot along the way, like a little ad here, a little ad there, and you don't realize it until you get in there. And so simplifying makes things so much easier when I'm doing this move of, this is my one clear offer. This is my one clear project offer. I can send out proposals without adjustments. I can automate the whole thing. So it sounds simple, but it's hard to be simple sometimes.
It is. Even when I have been working on the summit, there were several times that I've been like, oh, I could do this and I could do that. And, like, I've had multiple people be like, you just need to tone it down. Just, like, simplify. It is so easy as business owners, whether it's a summit or a podcast, a membership, just our services. Like, it is so easy to overcomplicate and be like, oh, well, this would be great for the clients or and I think whether we need to automate because we're going to be moving and we just are going to be in a different time zone, or we have kids, or even just for the sake of easier marketing.
Yep.
Like, simplifying is so, so helpful. And I think more people need to do it.
Yeah. I mean, even like right before this, I was sending out monthly reports to my clients, and I have a template for the email that I send along with it. Like, it's not big, but it saves me just those few minutes of typing every single month of it's consistent for them, it's consistent for me, and doesn't take any brain power.
I love email templates. I could have a whole podcast episode on that. Yes. Well, thank you for chatting with me about moving to Portugal.
Yeah.
If you have room in your suitcase for 2 adults and a 4-year-old, let me know.
I'm only planning on taking 3 suitcases. So.
Dang it. Okay. But thank you for chatting. Where can we connect with you? Check out your services that will be changing, but all that fun stuff.
Yeah. I'm most active on Instagram, so you can find me there at Luname Strategy. My website is luname.com. That's LUNIMAE.com.
Awesome. I will put that in the show notes for everybody, but thank you again for being here.
Thank you.